In 2019, the biggest problem that Smite has is that its onboarding system is useless. And what do I mean by that? Why is that the biggest problem? People talk about all sorts of things for why Smite is dying. And I just want to first state that Smite is dying. It's not dying quickly. It's not like what happened with Realm Royale, where its user base is just falling off a cliff. Its user base is slowly burning away. And you can look, Steam numbers are public. And back in 2015, early 2015, when I started to play, Smite was having about 9,500 to 10,000 players on Steam. Now they're about at 7,000. Over the last 4 years, they've lost about 30% of their Steam user base. And I'm going to preempt this now. You're going to say, well, that's not even all of the PC player base, because that is not including the people at direct installed, which is a lot of the older player base. And that doesn't include, since then, that Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo Switch are all available methods to play Smite. And that's very true. I'm not trying to imply that there's only 7,000 people that play Smite. I'm not. What I am, however, saying is that if there were growth in Smite, if Smite was doing well, why are all these people leaving off of Steam? If you could provide evidence to me in the comments that these people are leaving Steam to go direct install to Windows, to go to another console, fine. I'd love to be wrong on that. But I think these are people that are not leaving to play on another console. They're leaving Smite. And I'm not trying to say that it's gloom and doom. Oh, there's only going to have another year left or what have you. You know, you're only going to be able to play for another 18 months. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that the interest level in Smite is declining. It is a slow decline, but it is declining. And why is that? Is some of that because of decisions Hi-Rez has made? Is some of that because that's just what happens to all older games? Is that what happens to everything else over time? Maybe. But in my opinion, Smite's onboarding process is horrific. And I think that its onboarding process actively turns away new players. People are burning out on Smite for various reasons. You can look at Twitter, you can look at longtime Twitch streamers, you can look at longtime YouTube streamers. They're leaving the game. And that's natural. That's going to happen with every game. But people aren't taking their place. There aren't people coming in. And that's a big deal. There aren't these people coming in to fill that void. If there were, then I would think that you would see stability or growth in the Steam numbers. So what's going on? And to me, to backtrack a little bit, when I say onboarding process, I specifically mean the process that you have, the experience you have as a player from when you first play Smite to when you become hooked on Smite. So to me, things like spectator mode being bad, and that having a cascading effect into your SPL games, where 10% of the SPL sets get corrupted in some way, shape, or form. That doesn't matter to the game's growth. By that point, if you're watching SPL, if you are actually using spectator mode because you're a coach, you're a player on a scrim team, on a semi-competitive team, Hi-Rez already has a hook, line, and sinker. They can do whatever they want, and you will still play. You are at that point, by the time that you care enough to watch a video review, you are committed to Smite. By the time that you want to watch the Smite Pro League, you are committed to Smite. There are very few people that I think are watching the SPL that don't play. There are very few people, I would say there's no one who watches and uses spectator mode themselves and is not a addicted Smite player. They are hopelessly addicted at that point. So this onboarding process of your first 5 hours, if that, you might have one night to convince a player, hey, I'm gonna stick around for the long haul. That's critical. That is your game's first impression to a player. That is what needs to set the tone. Just as an example, and I'm actually pulling this up on the fly right now, I recently tried to play a game, Warhammer 40k Mechanicus. Very quick tangent. I love the Warhammer 40k universe. I think it's awesome. I think it's super cool. Warhammer 40k Mechanicus is a squad-based tactical game. Squad-based tactics. I'm a fucking sucker for that. I played 26 minutes. And I just said no. I got it as part of a Humble Bundle. And even that, 26 minutes. That's all I could do. Before I just said no. So, most people that play Smite have only played a couple games because they walk out. And there's a few things that I think I want to show over the course of a couple of videos that really highlight what I think are the biggest issues. First, the last time I played this, and I'm going to do this again to try to get a better experience on this, most people were leaving games. I don't believe I would say over half of my games, when I played Arena or Conquest, had a leaver. Had someone leave, so it became a 4-on-5. And Smite from a man-down position is extremely difficult to win, and from a man-up position, it's incredibly hard to throw at that point. So pretty much the game was decided by who actually had all 5 players. That's not a fun experience. Is that in Hi-Rez's control? Maybe, maybe not. Whether or not that was network instability, whether that was rage quitters, we'll take a further look. The biggest things that I think we need to look at are their tutorial is shit, and they have a mandatory game mode progression system, and I don't think most people remember this. The game starts you off with forced arena. They force you to play arena mode. You cannot play anything else until you're level 3 or level 5. I think it's level 5. You have to play arena. And then you get arena and conquest until level 15. Your account has to be level 15 just so you can play assault. Just so you can play clash. Just so you can play Siege. I think Siege is 15 as well, but no one cares about Siege. And that's not a big deal in and of itself, but it's very ass backwards. I think it's very safe to assume, we'll talk about Assault. I think it's very safe to assume that most players who start Smite have already played League of Legends. They've already played League. The most popular mode in League of Legends is all random, all middle. Otherwise known in Smite as Assault. So if you've already invested a couple of hundred of hours into League, and your favorite thing to do is to play ARAM with your friends in League, and you heard there's this new game that has a different control scheme, maybe you're kind of into mythology, so you're going to check it out, or maybe you just like the way it plays, or how it looks, or whatever. But you're an ARAM player. You are an Assault player. And now you come to Smite. You go through the tutorial. It took you an hour, but your account's level 3 now. Great, cool, whatever, they gave you some gifts. And then they tell you that it's level 15 to play Assault. Fuck it, back to League. Conservatively, and this is another thing I want to see, how long does it take without account boosters to get to level 15? My guess has always been about 10 hours of gameplay. And that's a lot to ask someone converting from League of Legends to Smite to stick around for just to play their favorite game mode. Clash is equally ridiculous. Clash, in my opinion, is Conquest with training wheels. It's a mode designed for people that don't have experience playing Conquest. But you have to play like another 8 or 9 hours of Arena or Conquest, or even Conquest, just to get the mode to teach you how to play Conquest. What? What the fuck? How does that make sense? So this is the onboarding experience I'm talking about, where Hi-Rez has made it incredibly difficult for a new player to want to stick around for the long haul. It is not retaining new players, and old players are burning out. And if old players burn out and no longer want to pay money into Smite and support the game and stream the game and give you content, and no one else is getting interested in the game, where does the game go from there? My name is Dan God of Thunder. I'm probably going to do some more videos about this matter because I think this is legitimately the biggest issue that Hi-Rez faces with Smite. And Smite remains its biggest cash cow. It's bigger than Paladins. We'll see where it goes with Rogue Company. At the time of this video, Rogue Company has been announced. It is not in a public pre-alpha state even. We'll see. But hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button, whatever, the whole drill. You know how YouTube works. Thank you. Take care. See you around.